Yo, guys, what is going on? It's BK coming at you with a video today from Let's Become Billionaires. We added a Gibson guitar to the setup today, so I hope you guys enjoy that. And today we're going to be talking about the best stocks to buy right now, the best stocks to invest in 2020, and we got two stocks for you guys. Both are tech companies, and both are going to be companies that are going to survive throughout the pandemic. And a lot of these companies, or these two companies, are talked about a good amount on YouTube, but I want to bring up a couple of points that a lot of people don't bring up on these companies. And I don't know why they don't bring them up, but because people don't bring them up on YouTube, I thought I would create some value for you guys as some viewers by showing you guys some content that you guys haven't seen before. If you guys appreciate that, please hit the subscribe button and the like button down below. And I hope you guys are ready for this great video. Before we get started, I want to start you guys off with a quote. Now, this quote is by Patrick Bet David from Valuetainment. It's more of a thing you have to read, so I'm going to pop it up on the screen right now. If you guys appreciate that quote, go follow him on Instagram. He's an inspiration of mine, and he's from the same country I am, so that's very exciting as well. That being said, guys, be ready to make some mistakes, be ready for some experience, and let's jump into two stocks, starting with Facebook.
Jesse posted what? Guys, check out what Jesse posted.
That's right, guys. We got the social media tech giant here, which owns Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, Oculus, Portal, and a multitude of other companies. They've also bought Jio Technologies, a company in India, a telecommunication company in rural India to be more specific, but we'll get into that in 1 second. Now, Facebook has a stock price of $205 a share with a 29.5 PE. $55 billion in cash with $1.15 billion in short-term debt and just over $9 billion in long-term debt. This shows that the company has plenty of liquidity to pay off both the short-term debts and its long-term debts and still be perfectly cash heavy. Now, most people, when they talk about Facebook, they talk about their messenger rooms competing with Zoom right now, which I'm not really too interested in because they're not really going to make any revenue off that. They're going to be talking about their Oculus virtual reality, and they're going to be talking about ad revenue. Now, on the other hand, I'm going to be talking about three different things. First, I'm going to be talking about Facebook Pay. Then I'm going to be talking about Jio Technologies in India and that role with WhatsApp and Facebook in general. And thirdly, I'm going to be talking about Facebook Watch, which includes their streaming portion of their business. Now, these three areas, I believe, are going to make Facebook one of the biggest companies in the world. Now, the way that I think Facebook will begin Facebook Pay is by enforcing it, or at least incentivizing it in their Facebook Marketplace. Now, Facebook Marketplace is a place where users can try to put their goods onto Facebook Marketplace and sell with other users of Facebook. Now, I believe that Facebook can incentivize people to get Facebook Pay to actually buy these products through some incentives, such as if you use Facebook Pay, we'll take 1% off or something along those lines. Now, when you get Facebook Pay, Facebook Pay isn't going to generate too much ad revenue, at least not yet, but it's going to create a tighter ecosystem. And if it creates a tighter ecosystem, they're going to take market share away from eBay because eBay also specializes in selling used goods. And if they do that, they can start to kind of monetize that area as well and start to gain more traction on their platforms. I believe it is important to say, though, that even if they don't monetize Facebook Pay, the mere fact that Facebook Pay can attract users into its ecosystem is enough for me to consider this a huge growth factor of the company. Because if you can transact with people on Facebook, then that takes away your need for Venmo, that takes away your need for Cash App. Now, I don't believe it's going to totally disrupt those two products, but I believe that it will be a competitor in the future. Another version of Facebook Pay that's going to be very popular, I believe, is their Facebook Pay with WhatsApp in India. Now, as I mentioned already, Facebook bought a $5.7 billion stake for 10% of Jio Technologies, a telecommunication company in rural India. Now, this is important because most Indians live in rural India, and India is the biggest user base for WhatsApp with over 300 million users. That means Facebook can use their new purchase of Jio Technologies in order to leverage these rural Indians in creating mobile payments. The way Facebook is planning on doing this is by allowing WhatsApp users to pay for groceries via WhatsApp. And this is important because if we look at places like China, they have WeChat. And WeChat is very profitable because it's one application that is in your entire life. So for example, if you want to do finances, if you want to book a doctor's appointment, get a taxi, pay your bills, invest in stocks, conduct business, text people, look at your social media. That's all done through WeChat in China. Now, Facebook is trying to become that, except in India. And so I'm very excited for the opportunity for Facebook to become a conglomerate there. And this is important because in India, I believe Indians are going to be more accepting of this kind of business model, whereas Americans would not be accepting of it, and they would take them to Congress, they would not use their products, they would use other services. My third bullish thesis on Facebook is their Facebook Watch, and more specifically, my third bullish thesis on Facebook is going to be their Facebook Watch and their game streaming platform. Now, if we look at Facebook Watch first, we'll see that Facebook has been posting videos that would be posted otherwise on YouTube onto Facebook and Instagram. And this is used so that you can have more watch time on Facebook. So recently I've been scrolling through Instagram or Facebook and I see a video that's been on YouTube, but I watch it on Facebook or Instagram. This is great because as user engagement shoots up from having these videos, they can start to advertise on those videos and monetize them, and they're going to keep people onto their platform and away from YouTube. Now, Facebook and YouTube aren't direct competitors because Facebook specializes in social media, YouTube specializes in video content. But they are competitors indirectly in the sense that if you're not spending time on Facebook, you might be on YouTube. Or if you're on YouTube, you're definitely not spending time on Instagram, right? So if people are able to get these videos onto Instagram and Facebook, even if they're not monetized, again, even if they're not monetized, it's still beneficial to the company, but they're probably going to monetize it. In terms of gaming, Facebook Watch has really done numbers here. Players are saying that it's easier to stream on Facebook Watch because Facebook takes less of the revenue and donations that players give the players. That watchers, viewers give the players. And that means that it's more profitable for them, and that also means that they're more likely going to come to Facebook. Number two, it's taking away market share from Twitch, which is always great because
who cares about Amazon when you don't have stock in Amazon? I don't own stock in Amazon. Do you own stock in?
If you own stock in Amazon, I'm sorry, but I don't. With esports and gaming in general just growing so massively, it is very important to be able to have this streaming platform to actually get users into your ecosystem. Again, they don't even have to monetize this because so long as they bring people into their platform, which means Facebook and Instagram in general, those viewers are going to be monetized elsewhere with advertisements. But they could also monetize it with ads and actually get even more revenue. So I'm very, very bullish on this gaming aspect of Facebook, and I think that this is a great market they're trying to attack. Now, ladies and gentlemen, at this point in the video, most YouTubers would pop up an ad and waste your time with some garbage you don't want to buy. I instead am going to ask you to please smash that thumbs up button and hit the subscribe button if you enjoy the content so far. Now, with that being said, I know you guys have been wondering what the last stock is. The second stock is going to be Square. Now, Square isn't exactly profitable yet, so instead of giving you the PE or any other ratios, I'm going to give you the price to sales. Price to sales of Square is a 5.77. Now, they have plenty of cash, as I'm going to pop up on the screen right now, to pay off their short-term debts and a portion of their long-term debts. So in terms of liquidity, they should be fine. And in terms of price to sales, they're a little bit expensive, but it's justified due to their fast growth rate. Now, Square is going to be a company that helps small businesses primarily, but they're also involved in medium businesses and large businesses. They help through their 3 business segments, which we'll get into in a second, but at the end, we're also going to talk about one thing that nobody talks about that they're doing right that's going to keep them market share. So let's go into that in a second, but let's first start off with the 3 businesses. The first one's going to be business services and products. The second one is going to be consumer services and products, and the third one's going to be financial services. If we start off the business segment, we'll see that they have hardware with POS systems. Now, POS means point of sale. It's where a transaction occurs. So if you've ever gone to the Apple Store, I'm pretty sure all Apple stores have this. I might be wrong, but at my Apple Store, they have these POS systems on the bottom of their phone. You can swipe a credit card on it and make a payment through that. They also have other ways of doing the same thing, such as you could connect an iPad and have a POS system be your iPad. You can have POS systems on computers and etc. So they attack all of these point of sale systems to make sure that you're able to transact. Now, you might say, well, who cares? A bunch of companies do that. The reason it's important is because it seamlessly integrates with their software. Now, their software includes things such as payroll, team management, loyalty, e-commerce solutions, invoices, capital, and more. Now, with this seamless integration, it is more cost efficient for businesses and for Square to conduct transactions and to conduct business. We'll get into more depth on why the seamless connectivity is important in a second, but first, let's mention that small businesses have noticed the value of Square, and therefore Square's revenues have been increasing at an increasing rate. And that is very rare to see with a company that's worth multiple billions of dollars. Now we're going to be talking about point number 2, or their business segment number 2, Cash App and their consumer segments. Now, Cash App is going to be similar to a Venmo. It can conduct P2P, and you can also get a debit card for it, so it can act like a bank and conduct transactions of your debit card. Also, on the same platform, the Cash App mobile app, you can also invest in stocks and Bitcoin. Bitcoin accounted for about half of Cash App's revenue, which is pretty impressive. Now, Cash App serves two groups of people the most. And this is the important thing that nobody talks about. It serves underbanked and unbanked communities. You'd be surprised. I think over 10 million people, I'll put up the number on the screen right now, in the United States are either underbanked or unbanked, meaning they don't have the right financial services. If we speak globally, there are 2 billion people who are underbanked in the world. Now, this is important because if we look at data in the United States, we see that more people in the United States who are unbanked have smartphones in terms of household numbers than those who are banked. This suggests that more people than expected have smartphones in the underbanked space. And that if they have smartphones, that means Cash App has a market to serve. Globally speaking, there are 2 billion people. Now, I'm not going to say that 75% of the global population has a smartphone like they do in the United States. But what I am willing to say is that it's at least a very large proportion of them. So let's say it's just 33%, right? So 1/3 of the households that contain the 2 billion unbanked in the world have smartphones. Well, you serve those people, and as they become richer, because the world's becoming richer every couple decades, you're going to make serious revenue off these emerging markets. And they're going to remember the people who were there to help them out. Another benefit of the Cash App is that you can use it to get boosts to incentivize you to spend money at certain places. For example, my credit card I use for cash back. But I never use a credit card when I go to places like Chipotle because Square actually has a reward of 10% off at Chipotle. Now, these rewards change every now and then depending on what's going on. I don't know exactly how they change it, what they're going to change in terms of the rewards, but they do change the rewards. So you might one day look on your phone and you have a 5% off at Home Depot, or you might look at your phone and you have 5% off at Target or 10% off at a grocery store. And this is amazing because I can use that to incentivize where I spend and save some money while also giving profits to Square. Now let's move on to Square Capital. Now, Square Capital is their most important segment in terms of revenue growth. Now, Square Capital is important because the average loan that banks can give is above $10,000 usually. And the reason they can't loan any less is because it's really unprofitable and risky for them to do so. And the way banks are set up, it's not that efficient, so it's not really worth it. Therefore, Square comes in here and says, well, we're going to serve the business people. They give out loans of average $6,000. So businesses that would otherwise never get a loan are getting a loan through Square Capital. Number 2, they sell these loans so they don't hold on to the risk, which is incredible, but they keep the customers coming through to Square and they keep some of the loans in order to create some cash flow. The best thing, though, is that they have access to all the software. That's important right now. Why? Because when they can see your software, they can see where you're spending money, what your costs are, what your expenses are, what your debt is, all of that. They can use that data to say whether or not you're eligible to get a loan. And if you are, they automatically just send you an email and it says, hey, with one click of a button, literally one click of a button, you're able to get this loan. Now you might say, BK, who cares? I'll tell you why it's important. I was a manager of a small business for a while. And I didn't deal with the loans myself, but because it was a family business, I saw my family deal with it. You would have to work hours, 10 hours, 11 hours a day. Come home, you're exhausted, you want to take a nap, maybe watch a little bit of Netflix. But you have to worry about everything else in your business that you're not able to do at your business. One thing that people have to worry about once they're not actually working is their loans. Now, Square has a solution to this. Their solution is if you have their hardware and you're conducting transactions using their POS system, they're going to use every swipe as a way of paying off that debt. So instead of you having to go on your own time and pay off the debt with the cash that you collected from business, Square just says, hey, when somebody pays, we automatically take a small fee from that. Now, the better thing is when they take a fee of that, the fee is a percentage. That means the amount is not constant. So if you have a really good summer, but then your fall and maybe your spring are a little bit lacking, then guess what? They're not going to take more money during those times. Banks, on the other hand, say you have to pay a fixed amount each month. And I'm going to let the CFO or the former CFO talk about this. I'm going to pop up the video right now. I hope you guys enjoy what she has to say.
We see this over and over again. Like some of the stats show that 40% of small businesses won't even ask for a loan from a bank because they just believe they'll get turned down. So they don't even go out and look for a way to invest in their business. Capital today, we've done about $3 billion of lending. Our loan size is about $6,000. So these are going out to small businesses. The third thing, which originally, I'd love to say we were super smart and we just saw it, but something we thought was a bug became a feature. So we actually allow people to match their repayment to how their business is trending. And that's because the way you repay is based off of every swipe. So if you have an amazing...
percentage of daily sales.
Percentage of daily sales.
Yep.
So if you have an amazing December, you'll pay back a lot. And if January you decide to go on vacation for 2 or 3 weeks, you pay back 0. And what that does is it allows businesses to actually smooth out to pay back alongside what their working capital is doing. And so most small businesses actually go out of business, not because they didn't have the cash flow, but they just didn't have it at the time.
Alright guys, I hope you've enjoyed the video on the best stocks to buy right now and the best stocks to invest in 2020. If you have, please smash the thumbs up button and the subscribe button down below. Hit the notification bell and check out some of my other videos that I'll have flagged up right now. I hope you guys are staying safe out there during these wild times. I hope you guys are doing well financially and in terms of health. This has been BK with Let's Become Billionaires, and have a great day guys. Bye-bye.